Good afternoon. Welcome to the court's first virtual swearing-in ceremony of 2022. Please keep your audio muted throughout the ceremony. If you wish to follow the speaker, you may want to set your view to speaker view. If you would like to access live transcript, under the live transcript button in the toolbar, please select show subtitles. If you would like to access the American Sign Language, please direct message Madison Welling. Mr. Julio Castillo, Clerk of the Court of Appeals, will offer opening remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Dade. I want to congratulate all of you and your families for going through the process and being successful to be members of the bar. I also want to mention that I will be administering the oath. During the oath will use the word swear. If you object to using the word swear, you can use the word affirm in its place. Also, I want to remind you to mute yourself. And again, congratulations to you and your family. Mr. Dade, I'll turn over the mic to you, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Castillo. The courtroom clerk will now open the courtroom.
All persons having business before the Honorable Associate, before the Chief Judge, all persons having business before the Honorable Chief Judge and Associate Judges now presiding over the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, draw near and give your attention. God save this United States in this honorable court. This honorable court is now in session. Please come to order.
Thank you, Mr. Dickerson. The Honorable Chief Judge Blackburn Rigsby will offer introductory remarks.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon now. My name is Chief Judge Anna Blackburn Rigsby, and I'm proud to serve as the Chief Judge of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals. On behalf of all of my colleagues on the Court of Appeals, I am pleased to welcome each of you, our prospective new members of the bar. And I'm also pleased to welcome your family members and friends who've supported you through your journey to get to this point. Generally, when I come before you and am here presiding on cases in the court, it's not always a happy occasion, but the bar admission ceremonies are one of the occasions that I'm always proud to be a part of, to welcome new, energetic, excellent, hardworking, and committed attorneys to our bar. So it's my pleasure to preside over this joyful occasion. The District of Columbia Court of Appeals is a fairly new court created by Congress in 1970. Although our predecessor courts have a long, rich history here in the District of Columbia and here at the historic courthouse. The DC Court of Appeals, our highest local court of last resort, was created in 1970. As the highest court of our local jurisdiction, our Court of Appeals created the DC Bar and has oversight and jurisdiction over the bar and responsibility for licensing and admitting attorneys to practice law in the District of Columbia. So today, I am pleased to entertain a motion for the admission of a number of new attorneys to our esteemed bar. It is our duty to oversee you as members of the bar, and it's my duty now to hear a motion for your admission, which will be made on behalf of Ms. Ilea Welch, staff attorney for our Committee on Admissions. Ms. Welch.
Thank you, Chief Judge. On behalf of the Committee on Admissions of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, I, Ilea Welch, staff attorney for the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, move the admission to the bar of this court the applicants whose name appear on the attached list and who have satisfied the requirements for admission to the bar of this court. On behalf of the Committee on Admissions, I certify to the court that these applicants possess the necessary qualifications for admission to the bar. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ms. Welch. Now, if we were in the actual ceremonial courtroom, as opposed to our virtual platform today, Ms. Welch would present the written motion with the names of each of the attorneys seeking admission during this ceremony today for review by me. So I don't want this to appear to be a cursory review because, as Ms. Welch has said, each of the candidates on this list have been duly certified, have passed the examination or waiver requirements, and most importantly, the fitness requirements for service as a bar, as a lawyer practicing before the bar in this jurisdiction. So I'm pleased on behalf of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals to grant the motion to admit today's candidates as members of the District of Columbia Bar. I will now recognize Mr. Julio Castillo, the clerk of our court, to administer the oath for admission. Mr. Castillo?
Thank you, Chief Judge Blackburn-Rigsby. I'm going to ask you to please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that as a member of the bar of this court, I will demean myself uprightly and according to law. And that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America. You may sit, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo. The Honorable Chief Judge Blackburn-Rigsby will give judicial remarks.
Thank you. And a hearty congratulations to each and every one of you and to your family members and friends who are there supporting you. And I'm applauding, and I hope that you're all applauding this wonderful and important accomplishment and milestone. It's my pleasure to have the opportunity to say a few remarks to each of you upon your admission to the District of Columbia Bar. I know for many of you, it's your first bar admission, but for others, it may be one of a number of admissions to practice before other jurisdictions. But I'm very proud to welcome you to the District of Columbia Bar. Despite our small geographic size, the District of Columbia Bar is the largest unified bar in the country. The only other bars that are larger are California and New York. So we pack a mighty punch in terms of our legal acumen and the presence of so many qualified attorneys who are licensed to practice in the District of Columbia. This is a great achievement, and so I congratulate you. But let me assure you that I think the best is yet to come, whether you are just beginning your legal careers or whether you're continuing your career with a license in the District of Columbia. I think one of the great things about the legal profession is that there are endless possibilities and ways in which you can utilize your legal training, whether you choose to practice in a private firm, large, small, or medium-sized firm, whether you are in or planning to do a judicial clerkship or serving in public service in other aspects of government, either with the legislative branch, the executive branch, or the judicial branch, or in the nonprofit arena, or in private practice, or in academia. There are so many ways to utilize your legal degree. I consider myself fortunate to have practiced both in the private sector, in a large corporate firm, in the public sector, both with our District of Columbia Attorney General's office, and then to have served on the bench for the last 26 years, first as a magistrate judge and an associate judge on our trial court, the District of Columbia Superior Court, and now for the last 15, nearly 16 years on our District of Columbia Court of Appeals. And I'm very honored to have served as our chief judge for the last 5 years. So I know I only look like I'm 12 years old, although I don't feel like it many days with the weight of the important cases and concerns that parties and members of our community bring before our court. But I just want to say how fortunate I consider myself to be a part of this great legal community here in the District of Columbia. Whatever your choice in terms of how you utilize your legal training, as a member of this bar in the District of Columbia, you bear a very important responsibility because you'll be dependent on and looked to for advice and assistance from your clients, your community, and others who are not lawyers, who need your expertise and training. You will hold the very precious and significant concerns of your clients in your hands, whether your client is a multi-million-dollar corporation or an individual seeking redress in a civil law matter or a criminal matter or a family law matter. And because your clients entrust such significant concerns to you, you must always strive, even under the sometimes grinding pressures of your workload, to remember the importance of your responsibility and the nobility of our profession to serve. During my brief remarks today, I just want to touch on 3 points. One, that I believe that the law is a profession and a noble and important profession of service and not just a job. 2, I believe that your professional reputation is important because it can enhance or impede your ability to practice law and to provide the best service for your clients and those you represent. And additionally, your professional reputation and how you comport yourself and handle yourself can enhance or detract from the legal profession as a whole. And during this time in our country and around the world, I think civility and nobility, honor, and ethical conduct is so critically important. And 3, I think it's important and vitally important to use your legal training to provide service to those in our community who need but often cannot afford legal representation. In other words, to provide pro bono representation in addition to whatever your practice area may be. And that service can include pro bono service to indigent criminal defendants, civil defendants, small businesses, nonprofits, community groups who need but cannot afford legal representation. So to my first point, as a member of the legal profession, you're now a member of one of the historically learned professions. And as a student of history, I know that the profession of the ministry, the profession of medicine, and the profession of the law were held apart from many other professions because of the strict legal and ethical codes that these professions were required to practice, and also because of the important spiritual, physical, and legal concerns of the people in the communities that members of these professions served. Each of these professions, the legal profession, ministry, medical profession, had strict training and education requirements, and all required an oath to perform the duties ethically and with the highest standards. And all of these professions hold great power over the people who you serve and people who look to you for help. Honor and respect are enjoyed by members of the profession, but it must be earned and deserved. And as members of the bar, you're held to the very highest ethical standards. And so the District of Columbia, like other jurisdictions, has rules of practice and rules of professional conduct to assist and guide you throughout your legal career. And failure to comply with an obligation or prohibition imposed by these rules of professional conduct can result in professional disciplinary actions, including disbarment. which could bring you back before our court in a much less pleasant situation. My second point is a reminder to each of you of the importance of building and maintaining and guarding your professional reputation. Serving your clients means you do all the necessary work on their cases in a timely fashion, and you zealously and courteously advocate for them. But I caution you to avoid shortcuts and slick moves in order to achieve short-term legal victories, which can often cause long-term harm to your professional reputation, but more importantly, to your client's interests. Because chances are you'll appear before the judge more than once, and you'll be litigating against the same lawyers and prosecutors more than once. And it takes a long career to build a reputation of honor, but only a few slick, ill-thought moves to destroy your reputation and the trust that the court places in you, because you're also officers of the court. Our DC Bar takes great pride in the reputation for civility and professionalism. And remember, throughout your career, you'll be building and maintaining that reputation. And I just want to say a special note about how important it is to be careful in your communications, particularly in this digital age of emails, text messages, Instagrams, Facebooks, YouTube, LinkedIn, that you're conducting yourself in an ethical and respectful way at all times. And my last point is, I believe that as a member of the legal profession, it's vitally important that in addition to serving your clients who pay for your services, that you also devote some of your time and effort and talent to serving those people who need your legal services often the most, but are least able to afford them. And this is our DC Bar's tradition and commitment to pro bono service. And I can't stress enough how important that is, particularly now. The pandemic that we've all lived through over the last 2 years has created greater stress and strife and need for the most vulnerable members of our community for legal representation and legal services. And they are often even less able to afford it now than even a few years ago, given the economic, financial, and physical stresses of the pandemic. Pro bono work has a direct impact on a person's life and livelihood and can be among the most rewarding legal work that you do. In addition to the ongoing needs created by the pandemic, you're likely aware that as a result of the pandemic, there's been a spike in domestic violence cases. Our local landlord and tenant and evictions that have been stayed across the country will now begin to resume. Eviction can break a family and create all kinds of legal needs that they require assistance for. In September of 2021, over 250,000 people in the District of Columbia were unemployed and seeking unemployment benefits. There are so many needs right here in this community that I urge you to work with the bar and find opportunities to give back. And I would remind you that Rule 6.1 of our Rules of Professional Responsibility require all lawyers to dedicate a percentage and number of hours to pro bono service. One of my most professionally gratifying cases was a pro bono case I took when I was in private practice. And I also enjoyed mentoring in the community as a basketball coach, as a way to give back and as a way to mentor young people. There's so much you can do to serve and to enhance the view of the legal profession in the community. Before I conclude my remarks, I just want to say a little bit about what you may already know if you've passed the bar and gotten this far, that the law is a very demanding profession. It takes hard work, it takes dedication, and it takes a commitment to lifelong learning to make sure that you're staying current in the law, to make sure that you are giving back. We've heard a lot of talk about the stress that we've all been under during this pandemic. And all I can say is I know it firsthand, as I'm sure many of you do. within your families, in your professions, and in your careers. And lawyer wellness is so critical, as well as your individual health. And the bar has a lawyer assistance program. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. There's a danger during this pandemic where remote work has increased of isolation. And as a lawyer, you need to be in a community like the DC Bar, where you can get resources, you can stay current, and you can stay supported. Finally, I just want to say, thank your family and your friends, your community, your spiritual community, because you need them now more than ever to support you on your legal journey, in your profession, and to uplift you and give joy and balance to your life. With that, I just say, congratulations. Remember that you will make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But it's important to own them, acknowledge them, learn from them, and try to improve as you go forward. And to not be reluctant to ask for the help and support that you may need throughout your career. With that, thank you all. Congratulations. Welcome to the District of Columbia Bar. We look forward to the service that you will provide and the impact and positive impact that you'll make on the lives of the people in the District of Columbia and wherever your practice may lead you. Thank you and welcome.
This honorable court is now adjourned.